Hello and welcome in another video. In this video we continue work on my E46 police auction car. I bought it at police auction, has been sitting for 5 years. I have bought a wet vacuum cleaner. I already did try to clean the boot of the car. It actually looks pretty decent. As you can see, the seats are quite bad. They are with stains and stuff and everything. Front seat, that seat is quite terrible as well. As you can see, the garage has seen some updates. I've painted the walls, painted the structural parts white. I also have found this amazing light. I just want to quickly show you. That really fits well in garage where you work on BMWs, you know. So we can continue working on the car. Let's try to do the interior now. I used some strongest carpet cleaner they recommend me at the store and actually seemed to work fine. The vacuuming machine also did the trick. It also sprays cleaner in front of it. The front seat was a little bit more tricky because it was just a lot more dirty, but it also cleaned up good enough so that we could actually exist in the car. Okay, car's cleaned, the interior at least. The body's here to get all those errors out of the car, which is I had an airbag sensor and tire monitoring system. But also, what I mentioned previously, the car is a lot down on power, and he seemed to think that might do something with a turbo on the car. Feels weirdly underpowered. First we'll check the errors and then see if we can tell what's wrong with the engine. And this was quite a long process to try to figure out what's happening actually with the car. Use computer, use some tools, and actually found something. Okay, what we found thus far is that the turbo regulator itself seems to be fine, because when we connect the vacuum line to the vacuum tester tool, it actually holds vacuum, so I guess the membrane in the regulator is fine. But the issue is that the actual regulator does not move when you put vacuum under it. But when we checked, it is actually not stuck, because if we put hand through there, we can feel that the shaft of the regulator is moving a little bit. Something is blocking probably the vacuum. Doesn't really make sense, but we'll try to remove this line and check what's going on there. I think we found the issue. The vacuum line to the turbocharger regulator, I guess. The line itself is fine. The vacuum line goes on here, but there is no hole there, so it's probably corrosion or something in there. We'll use something small to poke it out, and that hopefully should fix the turbo pressure issue. And poking it actually wasn't the solution. We need to grind it down screw and really press it through there. All right, now with that hole finally cleaned, we can again try to put on the vacuum tester tool. And I guess it should now show us that something is happening there. I'll try to film it somehow. You can see it actually is moving when vacuum is pumped in there, which is amazing. So that in theory should now have the system working. In the computer we should see that we have turbo pressure now. Hopefully that will fix the issue of the loss of power. Fingers crossed. Now that it's fixed, we can see the change air pressure, and when you do gas, yes, it should have power. Woo! And also, I believe I forgot to mention, we got rid of all the incorrect dashboard lights. Specifically, those were airbag sensor and tire pressure monitoring system. They were showing because when we put on the GM5 block, because of the central locking issue, that block was from Coupe. My buddy connected everything together, rewrote, I guess, all the blocks, everything? Yeah, everything, rewrote all the blocks with correct options from actually this car, from this win. And yeah, all the lights are gone, so looking good. With the engine now running smoothly, let's put everything back together, do last little bits of vacuuming, and then we can take the car for a test drive, see if the power is back on. And this part is as simple as it always has been, just put back on the plastics, bolt it on. Had to do a little bit of vacuuming to get all the leaves out, and we should be ready to go. The car is now put back together. It is relatively clean, so we can now again take it to another test drive and see if it had power. Okay, but before doing that, we have a small garage update. The floor messes up all the look of the garage. First idea was to just put on, I don't know what's called, leveling concrete. Another idea was epoxy floors. But essentially it all came down to this being a rented garage and it costing a few grand to do that. I think the leveling concrete was about 2 grand, epoxy floors probably something similar, maybe a little bit more, but if I move out of here then it will stay here. So the next option is what's in the boxes. It is garage puzzle floors. It is made from some sort of plastic. Seems to be strong enough, hopefully. And there is roughly enough for this section of garage, the actual workshop section. I checked local dealers, local stores that sell these kinds of floors, and usually the price was somewhere around 30 euros per square meter. On the whole garage floor, it summed up to about, I don't know, 3-4 grand. But then I remembered there is Temu. The website is quite questionable, their produce is even more questionable, but the price of these was probably half or third of what local costs would pay, and I'm guessing that it's pretty much the same part. This is the gray color, they are mostly black, some are only some are gray. We'll do some sort of layout on them. But for now, let's jump back into the E46 section. And remember to subscribe to the channel for video when we install the floors. Alright, let's do another test drive. But right now the big question is, did fixing that turbo vacuum line fixed our issue with power of the car? Oh yes, finally goes. No unnecessary lights on the dashboard, that's also perfect. Nice! The car now drives perfectly, there are no dashboard lights. We only really need to do alignment, probably a few more kilometers of driving with the car so that everything moves and everything is in place. We'll conclude the video here. Definitely was interesting with all the programming issues and turbo. So I really hope that you did enjoy the video. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you in the next video.